It's funny how fortunes change. I know midway through the year, again, we were questioning it. Dave mentioned that to me, that we were questioning it on this show going, okay, it doesn't seem like it's working in Philadelphia. Then it worked so beautifully late. Now everything is ducky in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what executives have to do to get into the Hall of Fame, but this GM in particular should go into the Hall of Fame someday. He's taken 4 different clubs to the World Series. He's pretty much won wherever he's gone. And, I mean, this is not easy to do, quite honestly. And so I don't know what the criteria is. I don't even know if there is one. But David really has to be in a conversation here at some point in time about going into the Hall of Fame, because in my career, during the tenure that I've been in the game, David's been one of the best sustainable long-term GMs. And what blows me away is his passion and his energy level and his love of the game. He hasn't gotten stale, which is so hard in this game not to do in those positions. Maybe going from different club to different club has helped that. But really, it's a remarkable career, and he should be commended for it.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. Whatever it is, it's a very subjective thing as far as executives being honored by the Hall of Fame. But whatever it is, he's gotten over that line. I think that's clear. Also, it's fascinating that, again, anybody who started in the 1980s and then was actually came of age, and then the analytics revolution hit, and the age of baseball ops hit, and he's still thriving. That's unexpected. That's a difficult twist.
That's exactly right. And it's funny. He had a reputation when he was in Boston and then got invited to leave Boston, that he was just a guy who knew how to win by trading prospects for stars. When if you really take a step back and look at those 4 teams he's built, 4 World Series teams, you'll see he's won every way you can win. And now he's doing it again. And, I live in Philadelphia. I've had a chance to watch him build that team. And his attention to detail, the way he's always there. He doesn't miss anything. And he builds those roster pieces, those depth pieces, a little bit at a time, and understands too there's more than one way to do it.
Right.
And whatever that way is, whatever the path is, he seems to find it.
Right. And Dan, you talk about that sort of thing a lot, right? His a flexibility of approach.
Yeah, adaptable mindset.
There you go.
So, like, you look at the Phillies situation, and David took that job. The first thing he said was, I think there's pieces to win here. So he looked at the market and said, well, I'm not going to get defensive players, so I'm going to double down on offense.
Exactly.
And he said, and we'll live, and then I'll make changes through the course of the year, which he did with the Sosa acquisition, the Marsh acquisition. And his midseason trades, to me, and dealing with him on the other end of the phone, he knew exactly what he wanted to fit his club. Every time you got on a phone call with him, he was looking for pieces that would complement his vision of what that club still had a chance to be. I thought it played out perfectly this year in Philadelphia. And it comes with a price. And David has paid a price with this. The hours, the work, the drive, and his relentless energy is something to me that I completely respect. I'm in awe of.
Yeah, another feel-good story in Philadelphia, of course, is Rob Thompson, who just seemed to be a baseball lifer. He was going to be there. When I talked to him midway through the year, when he had taken over, I was calling one of our games for the network. I really thought, this is great. This guy's a baseball lifer. He finally gets a chance. It probably never would have come his way. But I didn't know the extent to which he was on his way out before that happened. Explain this.
Yeah, Matt Gelb with a fantastic story in The Athletic today about how Rob Thompson had decided going into this season, this was it. This was going to be his last year as a coach, because he'd been there, he'd done it. He felt like he was getting stale at it. They should bring in somebody new with more energy, different approach. And look what happened. He was saving mementos from spring training. He had Joe Girardi save his schedule that he would draw up for the last day of spring training. And then look at what happened to this man. There's a great quote from Dave Dombrowski in the piece by Matt, in which he says, this is a story about life. It's about how, with so many people in life and in baseball, that moment arrives that changes everything, and everything is so different for Rob Thompson now. It's amazing to think back on the way it could have gone.
And well-deserved, right? Grinding it out year after year out
well
there.
Said, Jason. Very well
with very little acclaim.